Hello, I'm Caroline Marshall, and welcome to Bump to Business Owner, the podcast speaking to mums in business, you. I'll be in conversation with some of the most inspiring women and mothers in enterprise about their journey, how they created their successful businesses alongside raising their children, and what that looks like in work and family life. Hello, welcome to Bump to Business Owner. I'm your host, Caroline Marshall. And this is our final episode of the season. We made it. We made it to Christmas. Congrats if you're still here listening. Even more congrats if you're using this as a reason to have time to yourself. Welcome, and I'm honoured to be chosen. Oh gosh, honestly, I'm recording this on the 3rd of December, waiting for my Christmas tree to arrive. Yes, because that's one of my tips, is I do plan in advance for certain things. For the things that I'm in charge of, they get planned in September, let's just say some of them. Honestly, I have shared probably a little bit too much, maybe always a little bit too much. What was everyone's first Christmas like when they became a mum? Because honestly, I think I was a shadow of my former self. And I think the only thing that reassured me was I went to a baby sensory just after Christmas. And for once, I didn't bond straight away up with, apart from one in my baby group that I was in, purely because I had my baby like 6 weeks after a lot of them, which now seems ridiculously close. But at the time, it was like I was on a completely different journey and they were trying to shield me from the awfulness of the early weeks, which I don't think is necessarily normal in some ends. Sorry if they're listening. They're a very lovely group, but I don't think that's necessarily normal in the NCT groups to I think there was like a different group started, so I felt a bit out of it. But anyway, back to the point. I went to a baby sensory and someone was there, and I think the baby sensory lady was like, did everyone enjoy Christmas? And we were like, ooh. Like, you know, stories of having a baby. And I think they were all at 4 months old, which I think is really, really challenging age. And, you know, being around siblings, which I was, and I think a lot of them were as well, where they were just acting as normal, up drinking late, having their parents run around them. And you're like, why won't my baby go to sleep? And just feeling a bit damaged by the reality of motherhood. Sorry, I feel like this is a safe space to say this, but that's how I felt. And yeah, I mean, we did have a pretty awful first Christmas as well. I've just remembered something else we had a family cancer diagnosis, which wasn't great after we just got married as well. So we had a big crash. My mum thinks I got the baby blues, and it was baby blues. I didn't have, like, at that point, my mental health was kind of okay. But I definitely had she said it was delayed baby blues there because I was focused on the wedding, going back to work in 8 weeks. I just crashed at Christmas. So that is my story for anyone else who's having a Christmas crash. I think it's really, really hard at 4 months anyway, let alone when that hits at Christmas. And I remember then also my second Christmas, my toddler, my goodness, I lost weight over Christmas chasing him around. It was crazy. He was so active. And we were about to go into lockdown where he was just insanely active. And I remember coming back to work and they're like, yeah, you have lost weight. And I will tell you, I would share if I was not proactively trying over Christmas to lose weight. And yeah, I did. So I think if you're just starting to enter the toddler years and they're running around and you're trying to get them to not tear the tree apart, that is also hard. Or unwrap presents they shouldn't, because you can't negotiate with a toddler. Also, for those parents, good luck. But I am quite excited for Christmas this year because I have a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old, and I'm still holding to that magic and managed to book Father Christmas at the Natural History Museum because I feel like I might be on my last year with those visits. And it's not too bad a price compared to how some need a small mortgage now. But take it from a woman who also, not just Christmas, for some reason I got married at Christmas, so we do have our anniversary at Christmas as well, but we seem to miss that at the minute. We decided when our youngest is older, maybe we'll get it back. We tend to celebrate it in January now. We just give up on that. Is my first tip. Give up on thing pressure. So our case in point is our anniversary. Last year I was at the cinema with my son watching Wicked, and my godmother messaged me saying happy anniversary. I was like, it's like 2:00 in the afternoon. I was like, thank you for the reminder. I will message my husband now saying happy anniversary. So I had clearly forgotten that it was my anniversary last year, and we have just made peace with forgetting it, and it will be in January. We'll go for a nice meal later in January, hopefully. We did this year, and hopefully that will be a yearly thing now. So pick your battles about what's important. Or, you know, and also not only that, we do have 3 family birthdays. My father-in-law is 80 this year. Last year, my husband was 40, I'm giving his age away. And yeah, so we have birthdays and of course my son's mid-December. So we are also filled with lots of birthdays. I do not recommend having a child around Christmas. And I do get slightly triggered. Trigger for anyone who says I get jealous of mums with newborns around Christmas because they can sit and watch Christmas films. Can I just say that was my plan? And I ended up with a NICU baby deep in lockdown. So I was in hospital over Christmas and having to choose between my toddler and my child and spending time. So can I just say, never say that to people who have real triggers around Christmas, that you're jealous. I've just had it a few times this year and I just gently leave the chat. I don't leave. I'm not that kind of person. Well, I might have been during the thick of it. But now I'm like, no, I cannot physically respond to this because I do not agree. I am jealous of people with newborns and all that magic because that's what I was meant to have. I got one of those secondhand Stoke high chairs with the newborn bit thinking, he will sit there while we have our Christmas dinner, and I had to put it in the study because I just felt so sad he wasn't actually there for Christmas dinner. And yes, he was in NICU, so some trauma dropping. I'm doing that. NICU warning, just thought I'd let you know. For anyone who is suffering around these issues, this is clearly something I do still have to recognise around this time of year. We did have my youngest birthday party this weekend and I was so emotional afterwards. Oh my goodness. So you know, the body knows, the body holds on to these things. So if you are, that is my tip number 2, as I've just demonstrated, if your body holds on to things around this time of year, can be anything, just recognise that. Give yourself a little bit of space. I do. A little bit of space on if people talk about, oh, isn't it nice to have a newborn around Christmas? That triggers me. And I have to give myself a little bit of space for that. And same for other people and you know, what you're going through kind of thing. So yeah, do remember that and give yourself a little space. I'm, you know, doing the meditating daily to remember that I need that time. But well, my next tip number 3 is planning ahead. That's not necessarily very helpful right now as you're listening to this, but save this for next year. And here are a couple of the things I do. So I do order my tree in September, I have to say that. And I have a Notion list where I put everything for the boys and what we're going to buy for the family on there sort of thing and what sort of budget we're going to have. I am quite planned with that because otherwise, bless them, the grandparents do get in touch in around October asking for Christmas lists, and I get a little bit angry if I haven't thought of anything because I think I'm just going to get hassled, and it comes from a very nice place, so I can't complain. But I have to mentally prepare myself that in October I'm going to start getting asked about Christmas and birthday. And I find it really challenging having a child in December that his birthday and Christmas are just there. I have to start thinking ahead, oh, what might he like next summer? Like a scooter. Doesn't need a new scooter, but he probably will in 6 months' time. So I struggle a lot with that doubling up. So I do plan ahead with that. And I think I am very strict at making sure we're sharing the load in certain ways. By the way, my cleaner does wrap some presents for me, especially the stocking ones. So get help where you can and don't feel bad for asking someone to do that. She likes helping me, so that is a really nice perk I have. Plan yourself in business as well, because some of the whole jobs I have isn't just about personal life. Back to the business part of this podcast, there is a lot to plan around Christmas as a service-based business. Who's going to be around, what clients are around, what clients might want cover. That's the hardest piece. If a client wants cover and we don't have team around. So we like to plan that from October. I have a whole Notion checklist that we now copy and paste. And we also do plan like a virtual Slack party. I did do something in person. Thankfully, I won something at Brewdog at the Miss Jones Christmas event. So I didn't have to pay for this little meetup. We have a lot of planning to do as a business. As much as I'd like to take it easy, there is a lot of moving parts that can sometimes happen. Good news is, I think in the post-COVID world we're living in, lots of people, including clients, want to switch off for Christmas. So I love that, and I'm very happy with everyone switching off over Christmas. Turns out, though, I don't tend to, and I still keep an eye on things just because I am the one that's around, which is fine. I take my time in January, by the way, so I'm going to block out some time. And I'm also booked myself a little spa day on the 12th, because that's before everyone goes off, and also my child's birthday, which I wasn't expecting him to be at school for, which he is, which is great. So that's another of my little tip is like, yeah, if you're running a business, do plan for it. It's, you know, you don't want it to be as business as usual. We have planned our content now, and I'm still not recorded everything, but we will tend to be there. It'll be in the next week or so. The person who does my scheduling, Rachel, hi Rachel, Rachel will tell me everything I need to send her. So it'll be photos, things like that. There may be some stuff that I post myself, in which case she'll just send me she'll set up reminders for me on Slack. How good is she? So she'll set me a reminder of like, you need to post this. And I'll be like, okay, I'll go post it. How do I do a post again? It's been ages since I posted something on Instagram. I was thinking of doing it on the 15th because it's my anniversary. Since I don't celebrate it, let's just celebrate it on Instagram. And yes, so things like that. Get your content scheduled way in advance. And remember though, do take a break. Like, I do have content scheduled, but I will be taking a break. And sometimes I don't necessarily plan to, but my brain just tells me to, which is okay. So do take a break. I see that as that time to really restock. I remember I got my Aura ring for Christmas last year. Thank you, hubby. And it told me how resilient I was. And it was like giving me all these compliments. And it was because I was resting loads over Christmas. So do take that time. Take that time to rest. And around kids, I know that's really hard. But what I mean is like give yourself a detox rest. I recommend as well. Started reading, a friend recommended TJ Power. And it's all about dopamine. And so even like implementing some quick wins of like, okay, I'm going to step outside first thing in the morning rather than like, go around the craziness. Those little things that will really help. He's not a dad yet. He is becoming one. So I'm waiting for his book where it's like the reality of doing all of this around kids. But I take snippets and adapt them for me. So like, yeah, a half an hour meditation might be 10 minutes. And an ice bath, because I just can't keep up with the admin of an ice bath. Might be just like standing outside in the cold and having an ice cold glass of water. Really recommend that, by the way. That's been a new routine I've been bringing in recently. And, try and find those ways to communicate with others. So the reason is I do this list. So once I've done all my family, which I nearly have, I'm almost done. I do need to write Christmas cards. I did remember that, by the way, today. And I was like, God, it's the 3rd of December. I haven't even thought about Christmas cards. Maybe I'll do it this weekend, because I do get some family members, my mum, who get really offended if I don't do a Christmas card. And I just think, well, I've put loads of thought into your present. For me, it's all about the presents. I do struggle with that Christmas cards admin. I try and keep it low and only people I really like. So well done if you're on that list. And actually, my Christmas cards haven't even arrived yet. We did that thing where they did some art at school and you could order it. So I actually can't physically write my Christmas cards yet. Good job, me. But then I can, back to the list, I can go to my husband and I'll be like, well, I've done all of my jobs. The cleaner has her Christmas present. My mum does. What about your dad? Your job. You think about it. As you can see, I have done all these other people's presents that we're spending Christmas Day with. And he gets to go away and think about that for himself and own it for himself. Not that I should be managing him on that perspective. But also, I have to say, I would normally say I'm in a really privileged position. I'm not. I am just smart that I married a cook. And he does all the cooking, so I don't associate with any admin on the cooking side of things. But that has meant I have had to make peace that he will probably rush out on Christmas Eve and do the Christmas shop. And that's something I've just had to make peace with my planning standards, that if he's going to be in charge of something, it will get done because he likes good food. It just might not be in budget and it won't be like plans with a Tesco shop in advance. I have friends that are very sweet and do WhatsApp when they're like, remember, Christmas slots are open, organise yours now, which is great. Great friends like that if that's your job in your house. And I just have to ignore that because my husband will never be that person, sadly, which I'm okay with. He's doing the cooking. And I am cleaning up. So by the way, thank your cleaner uppers this Christmas. I was saying that to a friend recently. Feel like the cooks get all the glory and then the hard scrubbing of pans, which is really hard when you're cleaning up after my husband, has to happen. So do thank them properly. And if that's you, make sure you've got a Baileys by your side. I think that's my tip for cleaning up after Christmas dinner, is that there's Baileys and Call the Midwife or something on TV or a Christmas film of my choice. So tips from the community as well. Things like don't do elf on the shelf or have a really lazy elf on the shelf. If you still want to use him as a bribery tool that is watching them during their bad behaviour, although no behaviour is meant to be bad, is it, these days? But anyway, yes, he is a bribery tool in my household, but he doesn't do exciting things. And for them, to be fair, My kids don't know anything else. They're not on Instagram. So my 5-year-old is very excited that he moves at all. And here's a lesson to everyone who feels they have to do it. Set the bar low for your family. Mine is very low when it comes to Elf on the Shelf. And if you need to lock yourself in the toilet, I have been there. If you need to do a cold shower, I have been there. All those things that keep you going. Top tip from when I was in my younger years. So boy mum had to take my kids to the park on Christmas Day, but my second would be in a bit of a nap phase, and one time we came back, he was napping. I was like, I'll just sit in the car, have my quiet time, watch my TV shows. My husband brought me a glass of Prosecco, and living in London we have on-street parking, so people would just walk past me and I was having a glass of Prosecco in the car with my little one sleeping in the back, which was quite interesting. So I got to cheers my neighbours as they walked past me. And it's fine. It was lunchtime, or 12. I felt acceptable Prosecco time. So most of all, we normally do a meditation. So what I would say is go back. We have some from Kim Hartwell. Let's just have a second, baby. And from the head of nutrition at Ancient and Brave. Go back. We're going to put links in the show notes. Go back to those episodes. Honestly, take 5 minutes for yourself. That's all I can say. And, set your bar low. My new thing this week has been, this year has been reading fiction books and really learning. I have to say my Aura Ring's been really helpful on that. Really learning what relaxes me. And for me, it's not about scrolling through everything. Sometimes, yes, I might have a nice scroll, but other times it really is about doing those things that relax my nervous system so I can be less shouty, which we all need. I need to be less shouty. Merry Christmas. Thanks so much for joining us. If you have enjoyed the podcast this year, if you have learned anything from my guests this year, please rate. And if you're listening on Apple, review. It all helps. We can only continue this if we start to get sponsorship. So if you're looking to get in front of a particular sort of audience, I will happily send you our rate card for next year and what our plans are and who our guests are. So please leave us a review. Thank you. And Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for listening to Bump to Business Owner. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. Please do rate, review, follow, or subscribe wherever you're listening. It really helps us to connect with more mums and business owners. You can DM me on @BumpToBusinessOwner on Instagram, and I'll be back next week.